Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. All right, but let's talk a little Browns for a second. Kevin Stefanski had his Monday presser yesterday. And I want to play this soundbite from him, which is going to set us up on the rest of the conversation.
Before you play it, it was like a buzz because the press conference got delayed an hour. Mm-hmm. So I think the thought was, okay, maybe there's some big news coming. Unfortunately, there wasn't. And
you'll hear there are two questions. You'll hear the question and the answer from Kevin Stefanski about the future of his quarterback, and he's sticking with Deshaun Watson. Steve, let's hear it.
With the offensive struggles you guys have been having and, the playoff hopes kind of shrinking, just why not try Jameis as a potential spark that you're looking for?
Yeah, I think it's just important that we continue to do everything we can to play good, sound football. I think there were moments of that, obviously, yesterday. I think Deshaun gives us the best chance to win, continues to give us the best chance to win, and we need to play really good offensive football at his position and really at every position to be successful on Sunday.
Kevin, I know that we asked you this last week, but it seems to be that the prevailing narrative still seems to be that everyone thinks that Jimmy Haslam is forcing you to play Deshaun Watson. So I guess I just want to throw it out there again and ask, how is this decision made, and is there any truth to that whatsoever?
Well, as you know, Mary Kay, I don't get caught up in narratives, but we have a good dialogue with myself, Andrew, ownership about all things that have to do with this team. They've been nothing but supportive, and any decision when it comes to football is my decision.
That was Kevin Stefanski letting the world know that he's sticking with Deshaun, and it is his decision.
Okay, then he's going to take all the blame for it.
Well, and that's the question I want to ask you.
He doesn't get a pass.
That's what I want to ask you. Is Kevin Stefanski making mistakes by saying something like that?
Guys, I don't know what the truth is. I don't know how much Jimmy Haslam is involved. But if Kevin Stefanski is going to keep saying it's on him, then it's on him. Then he's the one making the stupid decision, at least in my opinion, to continue to play Deshaun Watson.
I don't think that he's making the decision. I also think him saying that doesn't make people think that he's making the decision.
No, that's true.
So you can say that you're going to be critical of him, but deep down inside, even though you are, you still know it's not his call.
But Dustin, he has job security.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, that's one thing that doesn't exist in America.
But it does when you've made millions of dollars.
Job security does not exist.
But Tyvus, if he gets fired, he still gets paid every dollar.
That's fine, but he ain't got a job.
You don't think somebody else would hire him?
Yeah, I mean the guy's got a track record now that would get him
exactly. At the very least, he'd get a coordinator.
He'd get another gig right now.
Job security
so why would
is
he
not a thing.
If Jimmy Haslam is forcing this, why wouldn't he say to Jimmy, "My team, I'm making this decision. As long as I'm the coach, I'm making the decision to quarterback."
Well, and listen, if he's going to not do what he really thinks he should do, then that's going to hurt his chances at getting another job.
Because other teams around
they're going to be like, "Oh, this guy's a coward."
Yeah, exactly. I just don't understand it. And does anybody believe that he believes Deshaun Watson gives them the best chance to win?
Zero.
He's
not an idiot.
Wait a minute. Do I believe that he believes?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think think about this, and I'll just give you some more to think about. When he is making his game plan and thinking, okay, we're playing the Philadelphia Eagles this week.
Right.
Does Deshaun Watson, Watson can make this play. Watson's going to do this. Is he really thinking that? There's no chance. He's not a moron.
My thing is, I'm sorry, Steve, I done moved on you, my fault. But anyways, my thing is, whoever's decision it was to bring Deshaun in is on the hook for this, whether it was Jimmy, whether it was them. My thing is, the only reason why I feel like Kevin is handicapped in this situation is because it's not his offense that he's running. It's not what traditionally he's thrived on doing. And the fact that he refuses to go back to that because of him is the problem that I have. To me, even last game, it was a ton of success in the run game just from going under center. Go back to what you know. When in doubt, this is a life thing. When in doubt, you go for what you know. And if it's not working, go back to what worked. You was at least middle of the pack. Stop forcing something that's not there. whoever came up with the thing that we're going to be this big passing attack, they need to be quiet. Like that's not what this team is. That's not what it's going to be. Go back to the stuff that worked. Like that's just, at the end of the day, that's what I would do if I was Kevin. If I got to play Deshaun, whether it's my decision to play Deshaun, whether I feel like he has the best chance, I'm at least go out there and call the plays that I think that I know was going to work. That's what I would do.
If he's calling plays that he doesn't want to call and he's playing quarterback that he doesn't want to play, then he's not really a head coach. So what is happening here? I don't understand why he would put up with that. Most of us have to put up with things like that, of that nature in jobs, because if you get fired, you lose your job, your family may not eat, or you may not be able to pay the mortgage.
His family's still going to eat.
Like, he's fine. He is set for
life.
life.
Who wants to be fired?
No one wants to be fired, and that's fair.
Yeah.
Like if we were in that situation, we probably wouldn't want to be fired either, even though you have tons of money. But the reality is, like, he's got to stand up for himself.
Yes.
And I don't know, man. I'm so torn.
This
is such a bizarre situation.
It is.
It makes no sense.
No,
it is.
It is clear the ship has sailed with Watson.
Did you read the article in the Ringer? I'm sure you guys talked about that yesterday, right?
No.
Well,
I sent it to you guys. It didn't come out yesterday in the show. I sent it to you guys in the
12 reasons why he's the worst quarterback of the millennium.
I somehow missed that.
It wasn't like he's the worst quarterback this year. It's like the worst quarterback in the last 20 years.
Well, if you look at, there's a bunch of different statistics where he's like 562 out of 567.
But he's not dead. He's not dead last.
He's on all these lists that he's on. The other guys on these lists are Jamarcus Russell and Akili Smith and David Carr, like the all-time terrible quarterbacks.
I think the mistake was going away from. I still think it's in the game plan. I still think that at some point he has to realize that I'm not the guy that I once was. Like back in Houston, I could do all these things. I don't have that ability like that anymore.
But if he hasn't made that adjustment yet, what makes you think that's going to ever happen?
You know what? Sometimes when you get that humble pie, some people take it and they see it. Like, look at it. Like, look at it. What do you mean? How can you fight this? If I'm talking to Deshaun and we rolling tape, what are you telling me? What do you think he gonna say to me? Like, look. What you defend it? What you telling me? What do you mean you don't? What do you mean you don't know that it ain't good? Look.
But there's been no adjustment made. I don't know. I mean, that game was. I mean, the offense.
You know what they'll say? He went 11 for 12 in the second half.
I don't care about that.
Congratulations.
That's what they're gonna say.
Most of that was in the fourth quarter. The Eagles clearly were playing in a way like a prevent style defense late in that game, because they're like, we have the lead. We know Deshaun Watson can't get in the end zone, so we're going to play kind of soft. And by the way, a couple other things from yesterday. You guys didn't have a chance to chime in. Listen, I have been a big Kevin Stefanski supporter. His time management, clock management have been awful of late. He does not use his timeouts well. Can somebody explain to me why he kicked the field goal? I know it's 4th and 10, whatever. You're down 7 points. What is the field? The only thing the field goal does is then if you go down and score a touchdown, you win instead of a tie. But you still need a touchdown. I don't understand kicking that field goal there, because even if you
how much time was left? I forget.
Like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
It was
340 something.
I think 4 minutes, but yeah. It was
so if you believe the reason you're kicking a field goal is because you believe your defense can stop the other team and get the ball back. But if you believe that, then why not go for it? If you get it, you score a touchdown. If you stop them, you can get another touchdown potentially, or only a field goal. But if you don't stop them, they have terrible field position, and if you stop them, then you'll get good field position again.
Aren't you the analytics guy?
I believe in analytics.
I think that in this case,
analytically wise, the Browns are one of the worst 3rd/4th down teams, I think.
Well,
ever.
Yeah.
Third down. Yeah.
So knowing analytics, you would have kicked that field goal too.
I would not have.
Yes, you would have.
I would not have.
Yes, you would have.
I think you have to have a feel for your team.
It's
though, man.
4th and 10. You going for it?
He is set. Yes, because they have terrible field position. Even if I don't get it, I need a touchdown either way. I still need a touchdown either way.
4th and 10.
Touchdown tie or touchdown win. There's a difference.
Right.
And I think to Tyvis's point, in that situation, you have to say, okay, if we have a 20% chance of making this, and it's probably less than that, why would you?
So he has no faith in his quarterback. That's what it comes down to. If you had a good quarterback, if you had a quarterback you trusted, in that situation.
Yeah, we're on the same page here with that.
Yeah.
I don't think we're
ain't
not
nobody
on the same page with that. But I also think that points are at a premium. We haven't scored over 20 points at all this year? Once?
Not once.
Not once.
You know what's amazing?
Dang, McNuggets, I was watching that game, and I just thought about our fence rider question. I said, me and McNuggets going to look like prophets when they get 20 points.
No.
I was feeling good, too.
Prophets. I was texting with our guy, Cleve TA, about, just about some of the numbers that are so bad for Watson. I was like, is this completely fair? Does it factor in this? Blah, blah, blah. We were talking about it. He told me, he made the point, and I knew it was bad, but he made the point that not only has Deshaun Watson been basically the worst quarterback in the league, but the Browns haven't faced a single top 20, not top 10, not top 5. They have not faced a top 20 pass defense yet. Think about that. The Browns have played the easiest pass defense schedule, and he's been the worst quarterback in the league. And it happens again this week because the Bengals' pass defense is no good. After that, though, after they play the Bengals, almost every game the rest of the year is against good pass defense.
I got news for you, pal. I'd take Daniel Jones today over Deshaun Watson.
And Daniel Jones is not good.
Yeah, and my point is they only scored 7 points last night. Or 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
You know what?
Well, the Bengals, I'll give the Bengals defense credit. They've been the worst defense in football.
They played well in that game.
They played well. It helped having B.J. Hill and the other defensive lineman they got from the Texans.
Sheldon Rankins.
Having those, they had their starting D tackles have been out, and that's really killed them. But I still don't think the Bengals defense is very good. But I don't think Deshaun Watson can take advantage of it.
Well, on paper, Joe Burrow versus Deshaun Watson, this game should be 35-3.
It should be. The Bengals offense, which has been good this year, was not very good against the Giants.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
that run was crazy that he had.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys go back and look at this if you can? One of the Giants' DBs, Burrow's already at least 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, maybe more. And I noticed up at the top where he ends up scoring the touchdown in that end zone, there was a DB on the Giants started running across the field in the opposite direction. I'm like, what is he doing?
Was running off the field?
No. So the touchdown was, this is the field, right?
Okay.
And Burrow ran this way to this end zone, right? To this
You're terrible at describing this.
Basically, what he's saying is Joe Burrow was running this way. The DB saw him and stopped and turned that way, like not going after him to stop him from getting.
He must not have seen him or something, but like he was already past the line of scrimmage.
You know what it was? He had some money on the parlay,
maybe,
and that's
on Joe Burrow's rushing. Joe Burrow went over his rushing yards, I'm sure,
on that play.
You know what's sad? I thought about this today, McNuggets, as I'm driving up here. You remember when Deshaun was going to when they first got Deshaun, that first preseason he was going to start, and we all had a toast out here to the fact that we would never have to worry about that long list.
Yeah, we retired.
Oh, my God.
And I had jersey.
I had apple juice.
Oh.
I remember. That was one of my better ideas that has turned out to be a catastrophic flop.
Turns out we jumped the gun.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say.
At the time they made that trade, Dustin and I were on the air. We were going bananas. Like, you thought they finally got a great quarterback.
I was actually off the air that day.
That's true. I
was on my way to Pittsburgh.
That's right.
I called into the show.
That's right.
You was ecstatic?
I went nuts. Right. You finally got a franchise quarterback, blah, blah, blah. And that first year, you're like, okay, it wasn't good, but he was suspended. And Baker sucked that year, that first year in 22. He was terrible. So you're like, okay, it's going to be fine. And since last year, I mean, it's just.
You know what this is? It continues to prove my point.
Yeah.
You do not pay players before they play for your team.
They did it with Jerry Jeudy, too.
Just don't do that.
And Jerry Judy's just a guy.
Because you think that you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
But until they get in there and play with the guys, you got to see how they mesh. And so far, we've done a poor job of paying people before they even took a snap.
Yeah.
You know who the big culprit? Russell Wilson did that with with Denver.
Hey, let me ask you a question, guys.
Don't do that.
Have you guys in your life ever bought a car sight unseen? Like you didn't see the car, you didn't drive it?
No. I bought during the pandemic. I bought a car for my wife.
Yeah.
On Carvana, yes.
Right, and
that was the only time I've ever done that.
Was it brand new or used?
It was used.
Okay, so
no.
All right.
The answer is no.
My point
is,
is
a major risk.
It's a big time risk, right? I mean, I've done that. I did it one time with a new car, and I felt good about it because it was a brand new car. But like a used car,
It worked out for us.
I did that another time, and it was okay.
It worked out for us, but yeah, it's a big risk.
But like, you want to test drive it, right?
That's why I would never get a car for myself when I'm test driving, because I got to be comfortable in the seat.
Just like you don't marry someone without living with them.
That's 100% right.
I agree with that statement too.
And when you mention it like that, we never really got a chance for an extended time, like a legit extended time, to see how Deshaun and Stefanski fit together as a coach and a system, and does what Deshaun do match what Kevin likes to play call, and what Kevin likes to play call can Deshaun. We never saw that culmination.
But even in the games last year, wasn't they running Kevin stuff last year? Where even in the
closer to it than this year.
Even the Titans game where it was like his best game as a Brown, or was it the Cardinals game? Whatever game it was.
Titans.
Wasn't it still Kevin stuff? So like, why would you? What was the problem? And my biggest thing is,
we should have made a bigger deal of the fact that they had a surprisingly good year with. I can't stand that people keep saying 5 quarterbacks. So the 5th quarterback played the meaningless last game. They didn't win. There was 4 quarterbacks. Technicality, but they had a surprisingly good offensive season, and then fired basically the entire offensive staff.
I think
that made no sense.
But my thing is, it wasn't one of the selling points, or one of the outside of the 230. It wasn't one of the big reasons was he liked Kevin's stuff.
Supposedly.
So if you like Kevin's stuff, you like it so much that you changed the whole thing. I just feel like maybe Deshaun felt like the quarterback in Kevin's system, because he's done it with so many people, it kind of made you look like it didn't matter who was the quarterback. Like I just need you to do these things. Anybody could do it. And maybe he wanted more recognition. Like, you're gonna pay me $230. Maybe I need to do something to show that I'm worth $230. Like, I need to do things that people
how about
can't.
complete a slant first?
Yeah.
I agree. No,
yes.
What you said, yes.
Like if I'm Deshaun, I'm just like, put me in a position where I can do like the most minimal things.
Well, how about when they scored their first field goal in the first half? I mean, that ball would have been picked off, but the 2 defenders ran into each other. Yeah. Remember that play? Yeah. Like, he had his man open deep, and he underthrew him.
Has he thrown a deep ball, like completed a deep ball?
Yeah, the touch. Do you consider the touchdown to Amari against the Giants on their very first play? A deep ball is 24 yards. It traveled 34 yards in the air. Do you count that?
I guess so.
34 yards, sure.
Yeah, that's good.
They've been, listen, what can you say? I mean, the Browns have to just admit they screwed up.
Yeah, you know what?
That's at this point. That's the problem that every fan is having. Yeah. Like you doubling down. Just say we all clearly see it's not working. Just say it that it's okay. Yeah. It's done.
Whatever it takes.
Like the Browns fans that I know and I follow, like they're cool with waving the white flag on this Deshaun deal. Like,
it's done.
You got to eat the money, Jimmy. That's cool. We're screwed with the draft picks, but let's. The only way we're going to eventually get better is if we can move on from that, draft a new quarterback, or, I'm guessing it's not going to come from free agency.
No, they've talked, people, I've seen some national media members say, well, they should trade Deshaun Watson
to who?
And give up a first-round pick to get
for
rid
the
of
money.
Him. But, I don't think they should do that.
Who's doing that?
Right. I heard, how about this? I think it was Chris Canty on Fox.
No,
Chris Canty?
He's on ESPN.
Yeah. Maybe it was Chris. I don't know if it was Chris Canty. I think it was him, but I'm not sure.
There's 2 guys on ESPN
the first round
that I, for some reason, consider to be, because they both do like similar things, first take, fill in. Yeah. It's Canty, and then there's the other guy who was another Giant.
Swagoot, no.
Not Marcus Spears. You know what I'm talking about?
Giant?
No, sorry, a Jet. Bart Scott.
The offensive lineman.
Bart Scott.
Bart Scott. Yeah, I find him annoying. I don't like him at all. But he says all kinds of dumb shit all the time. But anyway,
can't wait.
Whoever it was, I think it was Candy, said the Browns should. They were talking about the Lions calling the Browns about Myles Garrett, and Chris Canty, and the guy who was talking about this, whoever was working with him.
Was this Woody? Damian Woody?
No.
Because he had a take on the Browns the other day too.
Oh yeah, he was killing them, right?
Yeah.
But this guy, whoever was partnering with Canty, said
trade Myles Garrett.
Well, the Browns should trade Myles Garrett to the Lions for like 2 first-round picks or whatever it was. And Canty goes, no. They should trade Myles Garrett to the Lions, but force the Lions to take Deshaun Watson in the trade, and then they get nothing in return.
So you get Myles Garrett and Deshaun Watson.
Essentially for a 7th-round pick. And I was like,
it's a fascinating conversation.
It is, but like ultimately,
it makes. I mean,
if you're going to turn it around, you can't be giving up Myles Garrett for nothing, even if it means what they have to do. I think is just tell Deshaun Watson, don't show up, and this way it doesn't kill their cap.
Just send him home. Like
you got to do.
You're dismissed.
But you can't start giving up draft picks to get rid of them because then how do you rebuild with that?
No, I mean you can't have him in the locker room.
Right now they'd have the first pick in the draft. First pick.
And my thing with that still to this day is, do you trust them to get it right?
No.
So what's the point?
Do you trust Andrew Berry to get that right?
Do you think you trust him to get the quarterback right?
The problem is, it's like, what are you supposed to do? I mean, you want to start becoming a fan for another team?
No, you can't. You have
that's not happening.
So like, so you're screwed. You're like, oh, well, we can't. We're not going to get it right. Well, then what are you going to do?
That's fair.
Stop watching football?
Yeah, we've said that before. Should they fire Andrew Berry? I said yesterday they should.
Just find a.
Listen, let me tell you this again. I am not a fan of saying people should get fired because I don't know how people bounce back from being fired. So that I'm never going to sit here and say they should fire such and such. Like I'm not going. I don't.
Bro,
do that.
last year, the run with Flacco at the end of the year, I watched most of those games with Browns fans, friends of mine, whatever. They had so much fun. The games were fun.
Yeah.
When the game was over, you felt so good about everything. You're like, we won a game. And now, like I did this little tailgate thing on Sunday with some Browns fans, and like it was just absolute misery.
Yeah.
Painful, like torture.
Right.
And so, like, you remember, even last year, like, you didn't think you were probably going to win the Super Bowl.
No.
I mean, we were going to the playoffs, but, like, you still didn't really think. It didn't matter. Now, you've got nothing. Nothing. No chance to win this year.
No.
It's over. Season's over.
Yeah, the season's over at 1.
Pack it up.